The Padres are going back to the playoffs. Welcome into another edition of Friar Territory. Kyle Glaser alongside former Padres center fielder Mike Cameron here. Mike, this Padres team is certainly never boring. And once again, they had a dramatic finish last night, beating the Brewers 5-4 and walking it off on Freddie Fermin's RBI single in the bottom of the 11th inning to clinch a postseason spot for the second consecutive year. This is a team that we've talked a lot about. They've had a lot of ups and downs. We've talked about the highs and lows, the strengths and the weaknesses. At the end of the day, they got the job done.
Most definitely. It's probably, when you go through these rough patches during the season and you're a team that's supposed to be in contention and everything doesn't go the way you want it to go, but everything subsides when you pull off a victory as such last night and put your team into the playoffs. So kudos to the Padres. I know they've been going up and down, battling different aspects, injuries to pitching and all those different things, but they found a way to get it done, man, at a crucial time. So, they're back into the playoffs again, and we'll have a chance to compete for the 2025 World Series title at some point, like once you get in the playoffs. I should say you get in the tournament and everything is up in the air after that.
Absolutely. I did think the win last night was actually a perfect microcosm of this Padres team and what they do well and how they've gotten to this point. Starting pitcher, Nick Pivetta goes out. Even when he doesn't have his best day, he keeps the team in the game. The bullpen comes in and locks it down, giving the offense time to stage a comeback. They have some great defensive plays. They have some really high quality at bats late. They fight, they grind, and they come up with the big hit when they have to have it to scratch out a one-run win. This was the Padres' 39th comeback victory this year. And not only that, it was their 22nd win in a game in which they were tied or trailing going into the seventh inning. Again, we know this team, they are not world beaters. But one of the things we have seen from this team consistently all year is there's a resilience and a mental toughness late in games. And it really showed up once again, frankly, when they needed it most last night.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good team, Cal. To have 39 comeback victories, man, you know how hard it is already to win a game in MLB, and to have to come back against a team of this quality and of the Milwaukee Brewers, obviously the best team by record in the National League. And they're tough. I mean, they're tough to beat. They have all the same qualities as the San Diego Padres, probably, I mean, this would be a crazy matchup in the playoffs, in a sense. But we know that Milwaukee's going to be waiting for someone in the next round. But at the same time, man, it's just a matter of guys being able to get it done at a crucial time. And this one of the best reliefs. And they also got it done without, Tatis Jr. to be able to give him a break and to be able to take on this part is pretty special for the team.
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts is going to come off the IL this week, but he was not activated yesterday. Fernando Tatis Jr. was out with an illness. Ramon Laureano did not start, came in as a pinch hitter late. So the Padres got the job done without some of their key pieces. And there were so many moments in this game I thought were really key. First and foremost, we have to highlight the bullpen. 5 1/3 scoreless innings, again, to hold the line and give this team the opportunity to come back. But I talk about that resilience, that mental toughness, that poise. And again, it keeps showing up in the form of poise and composure late in games. I really thought the 7th inning was a great example of that. The Padres are down 3-2. They're staring down the barrel of losing a game. They're fighting for their playoff lives. They're trying to get that, that clinching win. 2 outs in the 7th. First 2 batters go down fairly easy. It would have been very easy for Padres here to start getting a little bit jumpy, to start trying to do too much, to start trying to force the issue. And they didn't. They stayed composed. Jose Iglesias drew a walk. Ramon Laureano comes in as a pinch hitter. Instead of trying to play hero, draws a walk. Luis Arias comes up, doesn't try to do too much, gets ahead 1-0, doesn't chase. Then he gets a high fastball, just quick direct stroke, single into center field. There's the tying run. Again, you talk about the little things that make something a good team. We see so much, right? You can talk about all the macro level stats you want about, they hit this many home runs, they do this, and this, and all of that matters. But it also matters how you maintain your poise and composure late in games. And we have seen the Padres do that again and again. And I really, really thought that was driven home last night in the seventh. And then in extras, great defensive plays. They move runners over with bunts. Freddie Fermin came through with a big, big single, your number 9 hitter. Just a lot of good things there.
Yeah, I mean, once again, that's another sign of a real good team that understands like their personnel. To be honest with you, in a sense, you got guys that are bench players that are, I guess I should say non-starters that are in the lineup, but they've been through this all year long. So they understand what is taking place. And some of their new additions was able to contribute to this situation. Obviously, you talked about Laureano, who's been very big for this team in the second half. And obviously, you get a couple of big games from Iglesias, get a few guys, you get a big knock from O'Hearn, and so it helps to continue of being a tough out. And then when you have a situation up with a rise in the game on the line, they got a chance to do something. He's going to put together a tough at bat for the most part, and it showed once again, man, the resilience of this team over and over again, and still, with them clinching, still can kind of even have a chance to win a division also. There's a possibility of that. We have 6 games left, and being 2 back, I don't know what the matchup is far matchup Dodgers or whatever it is. I think the Dodgers may be ahead, or whatever, but for the most part, they still have a chance, given where they are right now.
Yeah, we'll certainly get to that in a minute. Mathematically,
Definitely.
the Padres are still alive for the National League West Division title. Again, practically it'll be difficult, but mathematically they're still in it. The other player I think we have to highlight here, Bradgley Rodriguez, a rookie making his 5th career appearance. It's not even like this is a rookie who's been in the bullpen all year long and is tried and true, through the major league season. This is a kid who has mostly been in the minors. It's his 5th career appearance. And he comes in the 11th inning of a tie game against the best team in baseball with his team's playoff clinching hopes on the line. And he loads the bases with 1 out. Jackson Churio's up. And what does this kid do? Gets one of the most exciting and dangerous young hitters to ground into an inning-ending double play.
Yeah,
I thought that was just an amazing moment as well. Again, Freddie Fermin deserves all the love. Jake Cronenworth deserves all the love for his great defensive plays. A lot of players played a big part in this. But Bradgley Rodriguez, in that context, coming in and getting that inning-ending double play in the top of the 11th to put the Padres in position to win, I thought that was an incredible moment. And frankly, also kind of where the game really, really turned. Once that happened, you're like, yeah, the Padres are going to win this.
Yeah, sometimes you get rookies in situations where they're not really, he's been around, so he's seen what has transpired, and he's also been good when he got a chance to go into games, and this was a big moment for him. But I don't think he took it as that. I just think he took it as like, I need to throw strikes, I need to try to do this, and get himself out of this situation. And he got a big double play from a guy who's been swinging the bat pretty well for the Brewers at the time, and the Brewers are tough, man. When they get people on base, they normally get them in at some particular point, but sometimes baseball happen, and as you said, Bradley made a good pitch to be able to, put himself in a position to get out of that inning. And, you do get life. I mean, the turn is in your favor when you get some big outs like this, and a big opportunity happens. And the team, once again, offensively already understood that where they were and what do they need to do, and understood that. So, and they've been in this position all summer long, and it's just a matter of now getting it done at a crucial time, and that's what happened last night.
Absolutely. The Padres, with the win, are going to the playoffs for the 2nd consecutive season. It is only the 2nd time in franchise history they have made the playoffs 2 years in a row. Mike, you were part of one of those instances, 05, 06. You're on the 06 team. This is the 4th playoff appearance in the last 6 seasons for the Padres. The first time they've had a stretch like that in franchise history. So huge accomplishments all the way around. We have a lot more to talk about, including this team on a more high level, what they've done well, how they've gotten here, and what they've overcome to get here. And of course, we're going to hear about Mike's favorite postseason celebration stories and what the feeling is truly like for players. We're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors, and dive right into that. Football is back, and so is your shot at big wins. With DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, your game day instincts can score you real money. Here's the play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and unlock the upside every snap brings. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. And here's the kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL. Play just $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call, ride the upside, in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, Mike, you were part of 4 different playoff teams over the course of your career: 2000 and 2001 Mariners, 2006 Padres, 2008 Milwaukee Brewers. Obviously, from an outsider's perspective, fans, media, coaches, front office officials, you see the excitement and you feel the excitement. But at the end of the day, the players are the ones who did the work. They're the ones who sacrificed. They're the ones who played through injuries. They're the ones who came together to get the job done. So as much as people on the outside are going to be happy about this, it's a whole different level for players. What is it like, that moment when you clinch a postseason spot as a player?
It's special, man. It's a special bond. Once you go through a major league season and ups and downs and highs and lows, everything across the board, man, to be able to be a part of a playoff team is pretty special, man. Like I never take it for granted because some guys get the opportunity to get a run every year they're in the big leagues. Some guys don't make one, some guys don't get a chance to do it. And when you get these opportunities, man, like it is so special because you understand the hard work that it takes as a unit from the first day of spring training. And you show up and you understand what your team is and what they are supposed to accomplish. You're going to have some historical moments over the course of the season. You're going to have losing streaks, winning streaks, the struggle, the failure, the success, and to be able to be a part of a team of a playoff in a playoff situation is extra special. Once you clinch, man, to get a chance to, have the showers of beer, the hugging and everything else, all those different aspects, you hopefully that it's just one of many stages of getting an opportunity to get into the postseason. Obviously, the stakes gets higher as you continue to move on in the playoffs, but that first initial getting in, man, and playing in October is something special, man. Like it is a really, really good one. I got a chance to experience it in San Diego really well because for me, it was extra special coming off of having made the playoffs since 2001 and 2002 and 3 winning 96 or 93 games and not being able to get in and then becoming a free agent, going to New York and having that, kind of a turnarounds, whatever organization, the players or whatever, we very good. But then the next year we're pretty good and was supposed to have a chance to make the playoffs, and I ended up going through that massive collision and get traded to San Diego, and understanding that they were a playoff caliber team the year before. It was just me being able to add to that, and then having that stretch run. We had to go down the stretch in August and September, and to be a part of that and to contribute to those things, it's extra special. I will never forget. There's a picture maybe out online somewhere where I'm down on my knees, and I think who is it? Jeff Blum is standing over top of me, and maybe in somebody else, and I got my hands in the air with my bottle on my knees, and they're just pouring champagne on me. And that was before we had the big goggles, man. It was just extra special, man. Like extra special, and to do it because you still got games to play.
Yeah.
But to be able to get that experience and that feeling again, man, it's just like just extra special, man. Like it's something that I wish everyone got a chance to experience. Man, to be able to do it, like I'm so grateful that I got a chance to, do it in certain situations.
Yeah, and you raise an important point. We need to not take it for granted. I think very, very
Never.
often it's easy for people to say, yeah, they got in, but, or, they're not playing
No,
that great and all these things.
it doesn't matter.
Getting into the postseason, no matter how you do it, is an
Yeah.
incredible accomplishment worth treasuring and worth not taking for granted, because you never really know when it's going to happen. And you can have all the expectations in the world about, oh, we'll be good for years and years and years. There are a
No.
lot of teams who have thought that, and then injuries happen, something goes sideways. Nothing is guaranteed. And I think it's important to drive that point home with this team in particular, right? Look,
Yeah.
they have not finished the season particularly strong. They have had a lot of moments this season where, frankly, they just couldn't do a whole lot offensively. There have been ups and downs. They've had a lot of injuries. But at the end of the day, they did enough to get in. And when push came to shove and the chips were on the line in the biggest moments of the season, they won enough games to put themselves in position to be here, which, by the way, is more than can be said for right now the Mets, the Tigers, the Astros.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look around the league at other teams who have also struggled but haven't been able to snap out of it. And I think that goes back against this Padres team where, look, you can sit here and say, oh, yeah, their wins have been against the Rockies, the White Sox, and now this one against the Brewers, and qualify them. But guess what? Every win counts the same. And those other teams have also played some pushovers and haven't been able to win. So at the end of the day, this is something worth celebrating. It's something worth being happy about. Again, there's more to come, and the Padres want to achieve more than just this.
Yeah.
But I do think it's really important that whatever flaws, however this team may or may not have been playing over the last few weeks, this is worth celebrating and being proud of.
Oh, definitely, man. You don't know where right now. I don't know if the Padres are going to play at home or on the road or whatever it may be. But to get your team in a playoff and to have an opportunity is special, man. It's just special in itself. You can limp into the playoffs and just be able to exhale and reset and give yourself another chance, a run, because the records don't show up in the playoffs. It's like guys are tired, they're focused, and it's just a matter of competing at this particular point and trying to find ways to compete against your opponent and play good baseball to give yourself a win, to give yourself a chance to win games. These series now are much more important, obviously. The spotlight is on, but at the same time, like, there's ample guys in that clubhouse that have been in these situations before. So every time you get a chance to experience this type of baseball in October, it just gives you an advantage to how to feel, how to go about what is going on when you're playing. Right now is to try, Shilt's job is to try to, rest up a few guys here and there, maybe rest a pitcher here and there, to get yourself prepared for what's ahead of you. But at the same time, competing and understanding that, we have to continue to play with total concentration. Yep. And continue to win as many games as you can, because you don't know where your seeding is and how it's going to be. So it's important to do that. And that's going to probably be the main focus at this particular point on now, making sure we get a couple guys a little rest here and there, and just preparing, just trying to get prepared as best as you can to go in with bullets, with firing on all cylinders.
What I'll say lastly, just to put everything in perspective, take that 30,000-foot view, zoom out, and look at the big picture. If I had told you before the season, look, we knew Joe Musgrove was going to miss the year after having Tommy John surgery, but on top of that Yu Darvish was going to miss most of the season with an injury and not be effective when he came back, that Michael King was going to miss 3 months with an injury, that Dylan Cease was going to have his worst season since his rookie year, that Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado were going to go through 2 of the worst slumps of their careers, that Jackson Merrill was going to have 3 IL stints. You would have said, oh man, the season went to hell and they finished in 4th place. All those things happened, and here they are. 86 wins. They have clinched a postseason spot. And no matter what happens, the fact that they are in the division title race to the last week of the season, again, it's a testament to the coaches, it's a testament to the scouts, it's a testament to the front office, and it's a testament, most of all, to the players. Again, this team has found ways to win. It's not always been pretty. It has not always been smooth.
No.
But more often than not, as we see with their record, they have found a way to come out on top, particularly in big moments when they needed to. And that is worth celebrating. All right, Mike, we have a lot more to talk about, including what's to come this final week as the Padres try to chase down both the Dodgers for the NL West Division title and the Cubs for the top wild card spot. We're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors. We'll dive right into that.
When you think Fair Harbor, you should think soft. You should think buttery liner. But it's not just the bathing suits or the shorts. It's also sweatshirts like the one that I'm wearing right now, Kratz. It is stupid soft.
It's ridiculous that a shirt that can, 1, keep you warm, 2, be so soft, and 3, so lightweight, like the collar, everything, you don't even feel like you actually have a hoodie on, but you do.
It is a lightweight hoodie, and it feels incredible. So you should go get one yourself. Also, for bathing suits, for shorts, for whatever clothes that you're interested in where you want to basically feel like you're not wearing them, but you are, that's what Fair Harbor can bring to the table. So head to fairharborclothing.com/foul20 and use code FOUL20 for 20% off your order. That's Fair Harbor, HARBOR, clothing.com/foul20 for 20% off your order, and make sure you use that promo code FOUL20.
All right, Mike. A lot of times we see teams clinch a playoff spot. They have a wild, ruckus late night celebration.
Yeah.
And the next day you notice most of the veterans aren't in the lineup. It's a lot of the young guys. The veterans are nursing some headaches, I think.
Yeah.
The Padres don't have the luxury of doing that because as much as this is a huge accomplishment getting into the postseason, they still have more to chase. As we mentioned, the Dodgers are 2.5 games up on the Padres in the NL West. The Dodgers have 6 games remaining. The Padres have 5. The Dodgers do hold the head-to-head tiebreaker, and that is very, very, very big. And realistically, again, the Padres are mathematically alive for the National League West Division title. Practically, it's a long shot. Just being 2.5 back, Dodgers having the head-to-head tiebreaker, it's going to be tough. Nonetheless, the Padres can control what they can control and go out and win as many games as they can and put pressure on the Dodgers. But the other race here that I think is really, really, really important is the race for the top wildcard spot. The Padres are also only 2.5 games back of the Cubs. The Cubs are scuffling. They just got swept across a 4-game series against the Reds. And the Padres own the tiebreaker against the Cubs. They split the season series 3-3, and the Padres have the second tiebreaker in their favor with a better intra-division record. Mike, now that they've clinched a playoff spot, what do you want to see from this team? Again, because like I said, they got to stay focused. They got to keep rolling. This isn't a case of, oh, hey, we got in. We can take our foot off the gas a little bit right now.
So with the Padres, these last 5 games they're playing a really good Milwaukee team who is not going to bow down or give down anything, and a D-backs team that's still fighting to the last day to try to put themselves in a position to get in the playoffs, and they're playing well also. Yeah. So you have 2 quality teams that you got to compete against. With the Cubs playing against the New York Mets, who is fighting for their life also, and then the St. Louis Cardinals. So. Man, it's going to be interesting for the last 5 or 6 days as to what the Padres can do to increase their opportunity in going higher into the ascending into the playoffs as far as position wise. So these are going to be some very, very critical games for these teams and everything. So, and I'm pretty sure, every day the picture becomes a lot clearer. So, and we know sometimes it comes down to the last day, but at this point, everything is kind of a gravy situation for the Padres. Is just trying to continue to get themselves in a better playoff position, and it's very well capable. You just have to continue to play good baseball. And what's going to make it a little easier, I think, for the Padres is that they know they're going to have to be at their best because they're playing against two very good teams in this series and the next one. So, guys understand that. I'm pretty sure Schulte will mention that. He probably mentioned that in the meeting before they started to sell champagne celebration last night. And guys probably don't remember it, but they will be reminded today. And understand, hopefully, that this Padres team doesn't come out with a melancholy attitude of, like we can give away anything at this point. You still got to finish this season out pretty strong to see where the playoff picture unfolds.
Absolutely. The Padres have 2 more games against the Brewers, and they finish with 3 games at home against the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers have 3 games against the Diamondbacks and 3 games against the Mariners. The Cubs, as you mentioned, 3 games against the Mets and 3 against the Cardinals. None of these teams have a soft ending to their season. You mentioned the Cubs. Yes, the Mets are spiraling, but they're fighting for their playoff lives. And Cubs-Cardinals is always a huge rivalry. The Cardinals would love nothing more than to end the Cubs season on a down note. And I think, too, from the Padres' perspective, and I talked about this on the last show, this is really critically important for them to run down one of these teams. Again, it's going to be tough, but the Cubs are more likely than the Dodgers just because the tiebreaker situation and how both teams are playing. And the reason for that, Mike, we've talked about it all year. This Padres team at home is a completely different team than this Padres team on the road. You can have the same starting pitcher. You can have the same guys in the lineup, the same level of health, and you will get 2 very, very, very different outcomes with this team playing at home versus on the road. And realistically, if you're the Padres, to achieve your stated goals of getting to a World Series, the path realistically is they got to be home for the wild card series. They're going to be on the road no matter what for the division series. You hope you split the first 2, come back at home and finish it, in 4 games at Petco. And then you want to be the highest seed possible to be home for the NLCS. I don't think we can count on this team going out and winning 3 consecutive road series. They just haven't shown they can do that. So for the Padres, really getting at the bare minimum, being home for the wild card series, that's going to make a world of difference. So I think it'll be really interesting to see, again, how much they keep their foot on the gas in terms of who are they choosing to start, who are they going to rest. And some of this is going to depend, again, on what happens ahead of them. There might come a point where there's 3 games left in the season and they're locked into the 5 spot. But for now, it really does need to be full steam ahead.
Definitely. As you state this, I'm thinking about like tonight would be a prime example of, coming from a celebratory moment to getting back on track tonight to show up and play some good baseball and understanding that, these games are very relevant down the stretch. And understanding how this team has been inconsistent on the road far as like what they're supposed to be. But very
I would say
good
bad on the road. I wouldn't even say. I mean, they're well. It's not like they're a game or 2 under 500. They're well under 500, and
it makes it really tough.
Teams on the road, they've been. I mean, they have not really been very competitive, to be frank, over the course of the season.
Yes, I do think their cortisol levels will be a little bit lower now. That we know we're in, so guys tend to relax a little bit, but that relaxation still comes with a control focus. Now, so the cortisol levels down, the stress won't be as heightened as it will be for the New York Mets when they go take on the Cubs. So. Sometimes that can play a role, man. You just relax a little bit and just play baseball now. So, it's a good thing that this team has clinched in the spot they are, but still understanding there's a little more work to do or opportunity for something better, to move up in this. And I think the players understand that. And once again, these guys have been in the playoffs before, so they kind of understand that, but they also understand that, man, like, I don't care how long you've been playing, what you've accomplished. When you accomplish something in the sense of what the Padres has done, that's by getting to the playoffs, everything just kind of subsides a little bit and you can relax and your focus is even a little much better. And but they do understand that, if we can continue to play good baseball, we may have a chance to play in front of our fans a lot. And considering and understanding that they know they're not as good on the road. But, that could change. But right now we have to go off of what we've seen so far over the course of this season. And I'm pretty sure guys would love to wake up in their own bed and go into a rowdy Petco Park. And we've seen that all year long, man. So I'm sure the team is prepared for those type of moments. But I will look for to see the relaxation in guys and probably a few more smiles going on, but still playing competitive baseball.
Absolutely. It begins tonight. Randy Vasquez goes for the Padres against Bruce Zimmerman for the Nationals. Wednesday, Quinn Priester will go for the Brewers, a very good young pitcher that should not be taken lightly. The Padres have not announced their starter yet. They're kind of keeping it close to the vest, seeing what happens if they want to line up their pitchers a certain way. We will see what they end up deciding to do there. But nonetheless, winning as many games as possible, A, to enhance their seeding, and B, to go into the postseason feeling good, rolling along on a high note. That's what the goal is now. We'll see if the Padres are able to do it. Mike, any final thoughts as we wrap up here on Friar Territory?
Man, it's postseason play, baby. Get those rally towels out. Get out whatever you got to get out. It's that time of the year, man, to enjoy baseball at its finest. And some of the best teams, and you'll see some of the best players perform on a nightly basis, man. This is the fun part of baseball season. You're over the lull. You're over the dog days of summer. You're in the playoffs, and it's just a good feeling to be a part of, and to be able to set the tone. This is one way to do it. I'm kind of happy that the Padres are playing a team like the Brewers, because they're going to keep the pressure on all the time, man. Their manager does not let up at all. So you will see. Hopefully, you will see some good baseball played by the Padres down the stretch. As I said before, with cortisone levels probably a little lower, and to enjoy the games a little bit more.
Absolutely. We shall see. And once again, it's a big accomplishment. Everyone involved, players, coaches, trainers, front office officials, a lot of people behind the scenes whose names the public will never know played a big role in making this happen. Everyone should feel very, very proud of themselves. It's a huge accomplishment and achievement. And of course, it's just the first one that the Padres hope will be of many. Mike, thank you so much for your expertise and insight. We appreciate it as always. And we look forward to having you on the show a lot more as the Padres roll into the postseason. All right, everyone. That'll do it for another edition of Friar Territory here on the Foul Territory Network. Go ahead and give us a review. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever platform you're watching and listening on. We would love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Helps us out big time. Let us know what you think in the comments. 5 stars, all the good stuff. For Mike, I'm Kyle Glaser. Thank you for watching and listening. We will be back later this week with Heath Bell.